brought to you by Comedy Here Often Network. Check it out for everything comedy in Canada, comedyhereoften.com. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good, buddy. I'm good.
Founder, co-host, and founder of the Hair Club for Men.
Co-founder of what? Hair Club for Men.
No, heard of it?
I am the co-founder of Hair Club for Men. That's why I am fucking moved out of Los Angeles and fucking squirreling away every dime I can get. I am the founder. Fuck, I wish I was. So what's up, man? What's going on, buddy?
Not much. Still, we're in Christmas preparation right now. Christmas is a thing that non-Muslims do around.
No,
this time
thanks
of
for
year.
explaining.
There's trees involved.
I had no idea.
We give each other presents,
Oh, that sounds nice.
pretend that we appreciate each other. It's chestnuts roasting on an open fire, buddy.
I've never had chestnuts roasting
what
on
it's
an
all
open
about.
fire.
I couldn't recognize a chestnut in a nut lineup. I'm pretty sure. I don't know what a chestnut even looks
You
like.
have no idea.
Is it like an acorn? I imagine it's looking like an
I
acorn.
also picture the acorn. I don't know if that's what it looks like, though. Is that what a chestnut looks like? Chestnut?
Oh, I can't Google. We're trying. That's what we should mention to our viewers. Not that our listeners shouldn't notice the difference. We hope they don't. But we're using new tech. We have new tech. I bought this thing. My friend Mike Patterson recommended that I buy this. And it's a good interface to be able to do audio live. So Abdul is capturing this live. No more editing. No more fucking upload, download. I don't know.
Well, there'll
exactly
still be
what he
some
does
editing
to make this happen, but
There's still going to be some, but
there's
less.
some editing, because we're going to try to add features now. We're trying to add features. If we talk about something, maybe Abdul will add some kind of visual support to what we're talking about.
I am. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to show people what a chestnut looks like. Can we do this? How do we do this?
That would be
Transition.
great.
How do I
Look at
There
this.
we go.
And now this is a chestnut.
Here
Introducing
we go. We've got a
chestnut.
chestnut. This is what they look like. I don't know if you can see.
You'll have to visualize it over an open fire by yourself. I'm not going to Photoshop this thing into an open fire, but
They kind of look like an acorn.
The chestnut. That's it.
They kind of look like an acorn. How do you spell acorn? Acorn nut. Yeah, they kind of look. I guess they just don't have the top part. The acorn has a little chapeau,
Okay.
and the chestnut no chapeau. Put chapeau. Put chapeau to the chestnut. There you go. So we're learning things here on the Bacon No Bacon podcast, and we have a now we are able to show people, so we're all educating ourselves at the same time. That's nice. I like this.
It's beautiful. We should warn people too that if you watch this on YouTube, if you do the video version of Bacon No Bacon, the video quality for my video anyway, may be a little bit less quality than what you're used to. That is because I'm using my laptop camera rather than my phone camera. But I'll be honest with you, I've been running myself pretty ragged the last little while. So if I'm a little bit blurry, you instead of complaining and giving us a thumbs down on YouTube, maybe fucking thank your lucky stars, because my pores are deep and the bags under my eyes are heavy. So less quality video might be.
Oh, that's why you wanted to go with the less quality video. You're hungover.
Yeah. No, I'm actually not hungover today, but I was hungover for 2 days, and today is my first day of feeling.
Oh, 2 days. And is that from one day, or did you drink 2 days in a row?
Yeah.
Are you getting old?
Monday Night Football. I drank 2 bottles of wine during
Oh
Monday Night
my
Football.
God, 2 bottles of wine to yourself? Holy
myself.
smokes, dude, that's fucking heavy.
And then I watched the new Fast and Furious spin-off, whatever, with The Rock and Jason Statham.
How was it?
Barnes and Noble or something like that. That's probably not what it was called. What's Barnes
It's a
and Noble?
bookstore.
It's a bookstore. Whatever, it's their names.
Fast and Furious,
whatever.
Barnes
I
and
forget
Noble.
what edition. Yeah. I forget what their names were, but you know what? I was really drunk, but I started watching it for 5 minutes just to finish that last glass of wine after the football game, and it fucking locked me in.
So it was good. You liked it.
The action was great. The female lead in it was super. She drew me right in.
So she was hot? Is that what you're
I don't know
saying?
if I'm becoming that. She was hot, but in a cool way.
Okay.
Like
a
for an
race car
action
chick?
movie, right? She had depth. She had depth to her. She's like a hero. She's like a female James Bond type
cool.
character. but there was something. Maybe I'm just becoming this dirty old man because I'm finding
Probably it.
myself, women in their late 20s, strong female roles on television and film in their late 20s, which is probably, if I'm honest with myself, too young for me to. I'm mesmerized by several. Like lately, I find myself like, oh my God, I want to meet that person. I want to know her. But it's a character, so I don't know why I think the actual actress would be as deep and interesting as the character.
I feel like she probably would be. You kind of have to have a little bit of that in you, unless you're that amazing of an actor that you can just pull off being a completely.
Yeah, but a lot of actors lose their humility when the humility is what they are acting the most, right? The other stuff, they're intelligent and they're deep but a lot of actors really spend pulled out. And anyway, sometimes it's best to not meet the person you want to bone. Because deep down, anytime you're attracted, if it's a woman, if I'm attracted to her, even if I'm attracted to her mentally and intellectually, deep down, that make me want to bone her. That's no matter what I like about a woman, it's because I want to bone that part of her.
So you want to bone her intellectually?
It sounds shallow, but I mean, it's less shallow than somebody who just want to bone people who are attractive physically. I like to want to bone people that are attractive mentally and personality.
You're a good man.
I fuck the shit out of their.
You're a good old man. Old men are not really that. Usually they're like, look at the tits on that one. They're not into her.
Right.
That's good of you.
Did you hear her? Did you hear her dissertation on fucking the hunger crisis in Africa? I want to bone the shit out of that.
I am hard right now. Wow, that is one hell of a speech about how the water is polluted. So,
but since we're talking about things that I've watched, so that Barnes and Noble, whatever, Fast and Furious thing, it was an easy watch if you're not, if you're not super fussy about plausibility and things like that. But what I did watch yesterday, George Stroumboulopoulos, who I'm a big fan of him.
Very nice
again,
guy.
if I was a woman, I would want to bone his personality. He's a wonderful, wonderful
person,
guy.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's thrilled to hear as he's watching. For sure, he's a big fan of Bacon No Bacon. George, you kidding? He's got all the time in the world. He's such a not busy guy.
He's so very busy. Yeah.
Anyway, he recommended this thing. He tweeted this thing about. I think the show got recognized. Anyway, it's this new show that's new for me. Anyway, I'd never even heard of it until George tweeted it. I respect his opinion, and he said that this is one of the best things he's seen. Television, whatever show, movie in a long while. So I checked it out. It's called Ted Lasso. It's on Apple TV Plus, and it's basically the plot summary is a football coach in America who had success in a very short period of time in a Division II school. He won the national championship, I think, in his second year coaching. Just a very good, different approach to coaching. Gets picked up by a Premier League football or soccer team in England to come be their new coach. It's a team that had been struggling with mediocrity for 10 years in the Premier League. They're with a bad season coming this current season that's happening. If they have a bad season, they're looking at degradation, being degraded from Premier League to the Championship League. So they hire this American football coach who don't even know the rules to soccer. So it's a comedic premise, déjà, but the character development in this thing, like it's, first of all, I'm guilty. I love sport movies, TV shows like, We Are Marshall, fucking Friday Night Lights, all those Rudy, all these movies I love these things, Coach Carter. But this one, that's what's got me. Oh, that's an interesting premise. But I'd say it averages, like they have game footage, like one every 2 episodes. So it's not super sport heavy. And the sport part is it's kind of the comedic relief anyway, except for when you get to the end of the season and there's the drama and, there's things on the line with each game and blah, blah, blah. But the character development in this, the arc that these characters have, like the villains are never so villainous that you can never, like there's people do things in in Game of Thrones. Did you
No,
watch
never
Game of
watched
Thrones?
it.
Okay, so for the viewers that did watch Game of Thrones, remember when Sansa fucked up and sold out her father? I could never forgive her for that, all the way to the end. Even when she's looking like a good, strong leader, I still fuck you. I hope you get fucking throw a dragon fucking rapes your eye sockets, you bitch. You sold out your father. Fuck you. I never like. There's people that do things in shows that you can never get past. There's none of the villainous type characters in this show do anything that could not be redeemed at some point. And sure enough, they start to, like, at the end of the season, you're like, yeah, for my money, you're redeemed a little bit. Anyway, the characters are all good. The two female leads are super enthralling. They get more attractive as the show go on. Jason Sudeikis is who plays Ted Lasso. He's the executive producer. I think he's part of the creator of the show. What a wonderful, wonderful. There should be so many more characters like this. Like, somebody who it almost like as I was watching it, I'm like, oh my God, this is I shouldn't say this, but it's like Angela. So nice that you're skeptical about it. So nice that you're like, this can't be. And I don't want to give anything away, but he ended up with relationship problem just because it's too much. It's too much for you to always be positive, always look at the bright side, always kind, beyond kind. Say to the meanest people, you're still kind, and so that affected his romantic relationship.
Huh.
But what a great character, just an earnest. And this is what I was trying to tell. I was sitting watching a little bit with Reese before he fell asleep. Because I watched the whole thing. I watched all 10 episodes last night. I went to bed at like 4 or 5 in the morning because I couldn't stop watching it. Wonderful. So Ted Lasso on Apple TV Plus. The character is just positivity, earnest. The earnestness of it, which I was trying to tell Reese, is like, maybe people can say Justin Trudeau's made mistakes and he's not, but I still believe that he earnestly wants to do good for the country. Did he fuck up? Yeah, tons of fuck ups. But I still believe that it's earnest that he wants to. So that this character's earnestness to just want to be good. It's not even a want. He can't help it. He's positive. He latches on to sort of quotes that are inspiring, right? Like, I don't remember any of them because I'm shallow, but anyway, Ted Lasso, Ted Lasso on Apple TV Plus. I give it 2 whopping thumbs up, an absolute recommendation. You got time over the lockdown, over the next, 20 days, we're not supposed to do anything. Definitely Ted Lasso. If you don't already have Apple TV Plus, it's worth the 1-month subscription just to watch morning show and that.
Cool, man. Yeah. Speaking of watching stuff, I sent you a link. Did you see it in your email?
To check it on my.
Can you check it on your? Yeah, you can check it on your phone, I guess, or your email or something.
Yeah, I can check it on my phone.
I sent you a link. I cannot play
video?
this for the viewers on YouTube, but you can very easily.
My very first class as a participant is pretty yoga.
Yoga class. Oh, naked yoga. That sounds like somewhere you want to be in the front row.
Dude,
for sure.
I did not know this, but apparently if you just YouTube naked yoga, it's on YouTube and they don't take it down. YouTube says like it's a lifestyle thing, I guess. So they're refusing, like they don't take it down. Like you're allowed to have, it's basically almost very pornographic if you're watching it. I guess people, I understand. Here we go. I'll play the audio, I guess, is what you...
Yeah.
My very first naked yoga class as a
I don't need
participant.
this angle.
It was pretty nerve-wracking. You first take your clothes off, and then you go into your first downward dog, and you're like, oh no.
But they let people keep on their underwear.
Is this one have their underwear? Okay, there's ones, dude, there's there's ones, where they're not wearing any underwear.
Before every event,
they're not wearing any underwear at all. They're just like completely naked. It's hilarious. Like buttholes in the air.
Let's not talk about sex. They don't talk about sex in the class.
Dude, it's so funny. Like, and the fact that it's on YouTube, but I don't get what entices people to do this. Do you like
spirituality, man. Like yoga is already a spiritual type of exercise, right? It's like you really are feeling your own body. I
Yeah.
get that. But I'm just looking at some of the people. You hate to judge a book by its cover, but I'm definitely judging that there's more than two pronouns in that fucking room. There are some people that are being deep for the sake of being deep.
Yeah, it's hilarious, man. There's some pretty. Did you hear that thing too? There was like wow, what was it? I saw an article about a woman. I can't remember. Oh yeah, she upped her libido, or claims that she upped her libido by giving her vagina sun every day. So she would just lay on her
I've heard
back
that.
and open her legs and let the sun shine on her vagina. And apparently that made her.
I've heard that. I've seen people doing that to their assholes too. Like they get down in the downward dog position.
Yeah.
They get down in the downward dog position and open up their
Get a
ass
little
cheeks
sun
and
on
try
that.
to get sun on their asshole.
You got.
Some good old vitamin D. Is that what it is? Vitamin D? Vitamin D, right, sun shining right up your asshole.
Indeed, your asshole.
But see, we're laughing at it because the visual is obviously hilarious. But you know what? Those
I
are the
wonder,
kinds
yeah,
of things
who
that I
knows?
will not dismiss as not effective. And if the person
Yeah.
believes it, the psychosomatic
Yeah, that's a
effect
good point.
is,
Yeah.
if it's positive, then fucking
Yeah.
go have at it. Just sunshine fucking little rainbows bright up your ass. Fine. I couldn't, I'm shy and my dignity just wouldn't, even if I was alone on an island, I could not fucking open my asshole up to the sun. It's just not something that I can do because I don't know, when I'm a shallow caveman. Call me whatever. But I do not, for me, it's people that be like, like I'm saying, yeah, go ahead, fucking shine it up your ass. It's people that would be like, oh, you don't shine
Right.
sun
Yeah.
up your asshole? You're a fucking caveman, you piece of shit. I can't even look at you. You make me sick because
Yeah.
you don't fucking let sun touch your asshole or your vagina. It's people that are so deeply rooted in their belief system, especially when they're a little off the beaten path. Can you accept that, there's a reason why not everybody shines sun up their ass? Because it's not really super normal. Like normal comes from somewhere.
You're discriminatory against people who like the sun on their asshole. It's discrimination.
I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I don't discriminate against.
Well, why don't you
anybody
try
for
it then,
anything
Derek?
except being
Why don't you
judgy
get on top of a
other
mountain,
people. Yeah.
all right, and just pull down your pants and let the sun hit your asshole once in a while? Huh?
'Cause I don't want to. I don't want to. You know what I mean? If this is a health benefit of some kind, maybe I should stop drinking, smoking, and taking drugs first. Maybe I'll start with that and then start firing rainbows up my ass. How about that?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you could adjust before you get to that point. There's a lot of things that could help your health.
Yeah. Maybe I could cut down on my cholesterol intake before fucking going out naked. Traumatizing Madame Buteau back there by fucking showing her my asshole and pointing it toward the sun.
Dude, I could just picture you
Baby
trying it and the
steps.
neighbors coming out and like, I'm trying to get vitamin D on my asshole.
Yeah. Looking through my legs to say good morning. Like,
Why don't you try it? You'll be more
Upside down.
positive. That's funny, man. I'd love to see you take a yoga class. Just yoga, not naked yoga. But I'd love to see you in a yoga class.
You know what? I'm curious enough to try it because my flexibility in the last 1 year has become so atrocious that I can't help but think. And my core. I don't have a core anymore. I've been cored. I'm like one of the. Somebody has taken one of those apple cores and removed any musculature that I had between my tits and my balls. I have zero fucking muscle in there. So yoga class might be good for me. Maybe do some yoga, and then like Ryan Belville is doing jiu-jitsu down there. In LA,
Oh yeah,
I
he's
think.
in the jiu-jitsu.
Maybe do
Yeah.
some yoga, start doing some jiu-jitsu to get some core, some what's that, equilibrium things. These are good
Yeah.
things for you. But again, maybe I'll start with cutting down to 1 pack a day and fucking 80 beers a week.
Oh man.
Do that first. But I am down to 200 pounds. I'm down to 200
Really?
pounds.
Wow. Congratulations, man.
Well, I I lost most of it in the first 6 months of the pandemic, but I've managed to keep it pretty low. I'd gone up again 3 or 4 pounds, and then now I'm down back to 201. I was 201. The lowest I've been since March is 199 in September, I think, when I had that full summer of super active outside all the time.
What do you
building the bar?
What would you say is your regiment now that to keep it off? What are you doing to keep it off?
I still don't eat very much.
That's a good.
I don't eat a lot of
like unhealthy amount, or you just like you cut down on your portions so they're not unhealthy.
I've been doing. No, I've literally not tried at all to be careful with what I eat at all. I still eat shit, and just not often. I only eat generally one meal a day. But because I was so active in the summer, I think I was just burning off more calories. So I was taking in the same number of calories, but burning off more because I was being active.
Right.
Now I haven't been very active for the last couple of weeks. I'd say since my birthday, I haven't really done anything physical. Like I haven't been doing any renovation things or anything like that. And here's the thing: you make fun of me all the time for napping. Guess what? You don't fucking eat while you're sleeping.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. It's a way to keep it off.
And they say that you burn more calories sleeping than watching TV.
Really?
So I haven't been watching that much TV for the last year, and I've been doing a shit ton of sleeping. Like literally, it's not an odd thing in the last month or so. It's not an odd thing for me to have two. I sometimes even have 3 naps a day. Maybe they're not even naps. One of them ends up being like a 20-minute lie down, but it's still not.
I thought you were going to say a
there,
coma.
Right?
Some of them just turn into comas.
I have had 3 and 4 hour naps though. That does happen.
3 or 4 hour nap. Jeez,
you
sleep
regularly. I would say once every 2 or 3 weeks I'll have a 2 or 3 hour
sleep
nap.
a lot. I don't know how you do it. It's weird how you. I don't know if it's right though.
And there's more and more studies coming out that show. Like, what other explanation is it that I'm still even alive?
It's a really pretty good. Yeah, it's actually, and you know what? You're not smoking while you're sleeping. You haven't figured it out yet, at least. I don't know if you are, but you haven't. The moment you do.
That's what I like to do is sit in my room with the door closed for 20 minutes before my nap and just hotbox my bedroom and then go to sleep.
Just figure out how to keep the nicotine going into your body while you sleep. Once you figure that out, buddy, you're gonna be living. Did you see the new McDonald's burger?
No, my children are all leaving. I'm sorry, everybody. My children are leaving. It's their mother's birthday today, so they're going over to see their mother. Such nice children.
That's great. And they're all.
Yeah, but they're stealing food from my house to make the trek. This fucking 15-minute trek, and he's got a box of crackers that she's got to take with her. Bye, Jamie. Love you. Thank you for cleaning up. Jamie cleaned my house a little bit today. Here's the thing. I'm going to talk about this. It's Jamie's job because Jamie's not in school and she doesn't work. So we negotiated that she's going to clean the house. I ask Reese and Andy all the time, can you do this for me? Can you do that? Fuck off. No, I got to go pick my ass or something. Jamie, though, all of a sudden, Jamie's stressed and is like, oh, guys, can you help me? Fuck, the troops were rallied. Let's see, Reese is over here doing a terrible job at everything he does that involves cleaning. Reese, did you clean this patio door, by the way? Could somebody look, girls, please look at this patio door. Reese was standing in front of that with a bottle of Windex and paper towel. How the fuck? What the fuck is that?
I didn't do the window frame.
What did you do?
I did the frame.
Oh, he
with
washed
Windex?
The frame. He washed the front of the window with Windex. He's gonna use fucking SOS pad to wash the door, the window. But you guys also left the dog outside. I'm doing a podcast here. This is a professional fucking situation.
You only have this while you're on a podcast. Talk about something else.
Because you're lurking about. Reese gets so insulted. He gets so insulted.
We're all pretty insulted right now. We cleaned.
Yeah, but not for me. You did it for Jamie. You cleaned, but you did it for Jamie.
I think you found your way of.
It's her job. Oh my god. Christmas is canceled. I'm Muslim now. Abdul, what do we do? What are we doing on the
First thing you do, kids, you have to kneel in the corner. You're in trouble.
Yeah, we have to kneel.
All right.
The podcast is now called No Bacon, No Bacon. Christmas is canceled. Love you guys.
That's hilarious.
Are you taking 2 cars or 1?
That's hilarious.
I love you.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, you've lost all love.
Okay.
They're gone. They're like, that's it. We're not coming back.
No, mad. They're mad that I told them on that shit. But it's true.
Yeah, but
So
that's
Jamie-
your key,
it's
dude.
Jamie's
You
job
don't
when
tell them
go-
that. Now you know. So you're supposed to run things through Jamie first and then let it trickle down. That's what you should be doing.
It's ridiculous. I can't. Every time I try to scold or chastise any one of them, the other two.
I wonder
are
if you
fucking on me.
if
It's
you're
a one
like
against three
what if you're like, hey Jamie, could you get Reese to do this? Would she?
I wonder
Yeah,
if that
we-
would work. I'd probably have to pay her though. They're fucking opportunists. I'd probably have to pay Jamie somehow. Somehow she negotiated a pack of cigarettes
Oh,
out of me the other night.
Jesus. Well,
It's like I know I'm losing as a parent. I'm losing.
you've
the
lost.
battle.
I think
And
you've
Angie's
definitely
always like,
lost.
Why are you afraid of your children? I'm like, well, there's fucking 3 of them now. It's 3 against 1. That's why I'm afraid of them.
And they're getting
Their
big.
leader will-
It's not like before. They're getting
Yeah.
big, man. They're older. These kids, I tell you.
Andy's a dancer. She's very flexible. She might capoeira my ass. And fucking Reese is just a Hulk.
I guess I should send it to you.
No, anyway, I don't know what's happening. I'm losing control as a parent. It's frightening a little bit.
Well, I think that happens after a certain age. No, I think you kind of just have to let it go. It's almost like you got to let it just be. They're going to be adults. I mean, they are adults. 2 of them.
Yeah, Jamie
Yeah,
Reese
so
are,
that's
man.
it. You've got no say anymore, buddy.
Don't adults pay rent and
Well,
bills
look,
and
man,
stuff?
they've got you cornered. Also, adults are fucking able to figure out how to fucking get dad to pay for everything. Fuck. What you got to do? I don't know.
They do a good job.
I don't have kids. I can't give you advice, buddy. Maybe we should get like a therapist or someone who deals with children, child
Yeah,
psychologist.
some dink watching this on YouTube is probably just going to give me a thumbs down for my parenting style rather than fucking, maybe
Some
offer
help.
in the
Give
comment
Derek.
section. What
If
am I
anybody
doing
has any
wrong?
advice for Derek, please leave it in the comments below. We need parenting advice. How does Derek get the reins back from his children? They're running the house.
One of the comments, I guarantee, maybe because I'm mentioning it, they won't mention it, but the fact that I'm smoking when the children were here, and it's only during the podcast
Yeah.
that I do it. Normally they're not here. And in the summertime the windows are all open. But whatever. Anyway, whatever. My parents smoked it. Look at me. I'm a fucking
That's
creature.
a great example. Look at me. The guy who just said he snaps for 5 hours a day, in terrible health, very unflexible. Yeah, I want to get this McDonald's
Yeah,
burger. We didn't talk
Jameson,
about the
Jameson.
McDonald's burger. Did you see it yet? The McDonald's in China is served a Spam and Oreo burger. Yeah, did you
Oreo?
just
The cookie?
Google McDonald's burger China, and you'll definitely find it. And tell me would you try this? Would you eat the Spam? Here, let me put it on the screen for everybody else who's watching so they can see. I wonder if this is. I could see you trying. Actually, no, I don't know if I could. You don't eat. You don't try shit. You stick to the.
I don't like sweets. I don't like sweets.
You wouldn't eat it. You wouldn't eat that.
McDonald's China offers burger featuring Spam and crushed Oreos. No, I wouldn't. What's that?
I don't
mayonnaise
know.
and
It looks
stuff?
disgusting. It
mayonnaise.
looks horrible. I don't know. I think this is how the new strain of the virus happened. They're actually the food giant announced the newest
Spam and
menu
Oreo burgers.
item this week and revealed that the Oreo Luncheon Meat Burger would be available for 1 day only. It's a 1 day only.
And the classic burger sauce, so like Big Mac sauce.
Luncheon
on top.
meat is a trending food among youngsters nowadays. Really? Kids are eating that? Do your kids eat that? Yeah.
Spam? No, Spam was until like 5 years ago. I thought Spam was a joke thing from like National Lampoon. I didn't think it was an
Really?
actual thing.
I had no.
Full of meatiness with a hint of sweet aftertaste.
It looks disgusting. It looks horrible.
Yeah. But
People are eating that stuff.
they also eat bats in China, so that's how we got into
This is
mess in the
exactly
first
it.
place.
That's
Who
why I
knows
said
what
I think that's when this
burger's
new
like.
strain is starting. Now they're talking about this new strain, and I was like, oh fuck! Right when the burger comes out, this is exactly how it happened. But
Oh, shit. I wish I would have made myself a backup.
yeah. See, now you got no kids. Got no kids to make the backup coffee. But
And they're mad at me now.
so what else has been going on, man? What's going on with you?
Well, Reese's dog,
Yeah.
Baby, the Rottweiler, turns out like it's winter now, so we're not out in the yard with her as much. She fucking been my brand new deck that I just built. She's been chewing on it. See, it's all shredded. The whole stairway is shredded.
Like all the steps are just.
Yeah. This dog that I didn't want is constantly fucking ruining my shit. Plus, it's a dog that I'm with all the time, so I tell Reese about it, he'll probably blame me. He's like, I haven't been here in like 2 weeks. Why are you blaming me? You're the one that was taking care of the fucking dog. I'm like, oh my God. Like, this is the logic of my children.
Yeah, you're the one to blame because you were there, even though it's his dog. Derek really needs help.
Isn't there a saying like, "'Tis the season to be jolly"? I fucking don't feel jolly at all. I feel "'Tis the season to be resentful." I think is what Christmas should be rebranded.
Another thing I saw the other day was, remember we talked about it last week. We talked about the Christmas tree, how people cut down Christmas trees all year, or don't cut trees all year, and then Christmas they cut them all down. I saw an article a couple days later, and I thought this was a great idea, that people are now buying living Christmas trees. So the small Christmas trees in a pot that you can water, and you use that, and then after Christmas, you can plant your tree, and you grow a tree. Isn't that a great idea? Isn't that much better than the solution where you told me to fucking have sex with a goat or something? You were like, don't you guys fucking do weird shit with goats?
See, now our two Muslim listeners are going to think I'm an Islamophobe of some kind.
I'm joking. You didn't say that at all. I just want to. I like pinning racism to you.
Just like I feel like Muslims eat more goat than fucking non-Muslims. I was apparently wrong.
No. So yeah, that's a little anecdote there that I guess I saw. What else was there? Was there something else? No, that's all I got.
So for people that don't know, Abdul is married to a Christian girl, but they don't do Christmas. It's like they don't do anything.
Well, we don't do anything really. We don't celebrate any of the holidays. We don't celebrate Halloween.
Do you feel like a different time of year though? Do you feel like do you even feel like this is a special time of year?
I like the fact that everyone seems a little bit happier. I do enjoy it. I like that people get time off work because that makes them a little happier as well. So it seems like a nice time. I enjoy the Christmas time. I like that people, before all this shit happened, but I did enjoy the fact that people, get together with their families. I think that's a cool thing, and you get to, see everybody.
What the decoration? Do you like seeing lights all over people's houses?
I don't mind for the lights. The lights are not so bad. I'm not like it doesn't really do much for me, I guess, other than it looks pretty. It's nice. You got the lights up and everything. It looks nice. Yeah. Look at you. Yeah, it looks great. There's a nice pop of color. I like the colors in Christmas. People have that instead of it's just plain white and snow. I like Christmas. I think it's a fun little holiday you guys got going on, but. I just don't do it. I was in Walmart. I realized it the other day when I went to Walmart and they were playing the Christmas music or whatever, and I'm like going through and it was the first time it dawned on me because I guess we just like kind of been indoors all the time trying to not do too much. So it's like the first time where it feels like nothing happened this year, and like Christmas was the last thing that happened before COVID. So it felt almost like a Groundhog Day thing where I just was like, we're doing this again. It's like we're set in this weird circle in life, like where like society has it all set up for us, where you're just like, we go through this calendar of society, and like I didn't want to go through this. Like nobody asked me if I wanted to take part in this whole, like I feel like it's weird how we're like in this marketing society. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me.
Pretty soon Abdul's gonna be like, yeah, no, I don't do Tuesdays. Nobody else.
Yeah, what the fuck is this Tuesday? Every day's the same. No, I guess you gotta have to like organize some days to know what you're doing on which day of the week. But other than that, like holidays, it just feels like a fucking dude. Christmas is gonna be over. They're already gonna be stocking it with like Valentine's Day stuff. It just feels too forced.
Well, that's the merchandising kind of consumerism fucking
and that's what I don't like.
But like you said, the family part.
I love the family part. Yeah, I think that's a great
tradition part. Traditions are good, like having traditions, even if it's family traditions or cultural tradition.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It grounds you.
And now I'm feeling all guilty that my children may have just left, not feeling my spirit. I'm into it. I was doing it in the spirit of comedy, trying to be funny, like, oh, hey, fuck these dickheads, that's a dirty window. But now they're probably like, that's such a fucking asshole, always talking shit about us.
Yeah, they might. I guess.
See, that's it. That's how they get me, because I feel either guilty or angry all the time. That's my life with my children. I either feel angry, so I yell or make snide passive aggressive comments, or I feel guilty about those passive aggressive snide comments. That's the whole thing. There's never room for just love, just sitting there loving each other.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish we can have a psychologist here to help you with that. I feel like you gotta, I don't know. I have no idea. I wonder what you would do to just balance that in life with your children. Maybe don't call them shitheads. Maybe that's a start. Maybe don't fucking make fun of them in the public eye. Maybe they'd be a lot happier. I don't know.
But Jamie and I were talking today. I used to have a joke when because Jamie's 21 now. When she was younger, like when I have a joke from, I think it's my first album, my first or my second album, about Jamie's first period.
That's so, and what's that?
Back then she hated it, but now she's like, I heard it the other day on Spotify or whatever, and she's like, because her friend, their friend, my kid's friend, get a kick out of what I do, and they're always like, oh god, I'm gonna start. But Jamie's like, you know what? I remember that day, because I talk about how I knew her period was coming before she even knew. Because one day she was just not feeling well and she was acting really bitchy, and I'm like, "What's wrong, Jamie?" She's like, "I don't even know what's wrong. I just want to scream." And I was like, "Oh fuck, I know what's coming for sure." And she's like, "Fuck, I heard that," and I'm like, "I remember that day." And I didn't believe you. I didn't believe Andy too. Andy went through the same thing. I'm like, you're probably gonna have your period. She's like, no, it's not that. It's just I fucking hate everything, and I want to break something. And I'm like, well, that's what's coming. She's like, you're stupid. You don't know anything. And I'm like, I do know. I know things. Hopefully, one day my children will look back and be like, my dad was so right about so many things, and for some reason, I have a philosophy. I have a theory about it that children, especially children of means, my children are spoiled for, comparatively to the global
lucky. I
situation.
would say lucky. Your kids are lucky.
Lucky. I'm kind to them. I think I'm pretty cool some days. I think maybe I was trying too hard to be cool with them rather than be role model, disciplinary, and all that. But at 16, 17, when they started trying weed, I didn't lose my shit, and it was just like, all right, well, don't drive, and don't, like, if you're going to do it here. It's safe here, whatever. Now it's too much. Now they do it too much. Maybe, so now in retrospect, I'm like, maybe I should have put my foot down and made it terrible. But I think kids are going to do what kids do. Andy's getting older now. She's not interested in it at all. She's totally mean and bitchy to me. She's so not nice to me. But she does well in school. She's polite to other people. Rude to me, Obudo, like just
really?
Rude. Like I can't even. Andy, how are you today? Like just gross. She's so rotten to me. But she doesn't swear in front of me, so I assume she doesn't swear in front of other grown-ups. She doesn't. She does not interested in weed, which is great. I'll let her have a sip of wine or a glass of beer, whatever, at dinners and things like that, and she seems plus ou moins interested in that. So there's things that I've done as a parent that I hope I should felicit myself more for. That was a good approach. But there's other things that maybe this one, and each kid is so different too. You have to. So anyway, I'll say I'm doing my best. I am feeling guilty that they may have left with any kind of negative feeling. I'm sure they've forgotten my name by now. They don't even know who to find. Like, they don't give a shit. But I'm always thinking about these things. So I think the fact that I care, again, coming back to how we opened the podcast, approaching any task, job, role with earnest desire to do good at it, I think that's the number one best thing that you can, the first thing that's going to lead to success in anything, I think. And I really, really do want to be the best dad I can.
Oh, so sad. Very nice. Very heartfelt. Maybe they'll watch this and they'll love you again. They're not going to watch this, and they're not going to love you again.
But I have to say, remind me this time next year, or like maybe around my birthday next year, living Christmas tree, because it's a tradition in my family. The day after my birthday, we always go buy the
Oh,
Christmas
cool. There
tree.
you go. Living Christmas tree for next year.
So I'm interested. Looping back to that,
I think
I'm
it's a
going to
great
try
idea. Yeah.
taking note of it. I've got my new diary, my new whatever
Yeah.
agenda, and I'm going to put it for next year. Look into
Yeah.
living Christmas tree. I
That's
like
very
the
cool.
idea.
Yeah. Good stuff, buddy. That's
Yeah.
I feel like you're oh yeah, I wanted to ask you, how did you know, as Jamie being your first daughter, and you said that you knew that she was going to get her period before, how did you know?
Yeah. Because she was being a real bitch. And,
That's it. You just
and she wasn't feeling well. And then I was trying to get, like, what's wrong? What is it that's wrong? Because she was sad, she would cry. Like,
Okay,
boy
yeah,
things were affecting her so much more than in the previous thing. And then when I was asking her what's wrong, and she was just kind of all agitated, and I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, I don't know. I don't even know what's wrong. I just want to scream. And I'm like, that is totally PMS. Because her mom did get PMS kind of bad. Like, she had physical symptom of PMS too, like the cramps and all that. So it wasn't far-fetched for me to believe that my daughter
I thought you read like
would
a
have,
parenting book or something. I was like, wow, Derek's really on top of his children. He read a book. He knew before she got it.
I have read about stuff. Yeah, I do some research.
Okay, that's cool.
Um,
That's interesting. It must have been like, were you like at all panicked? Like when you had your first kid, were you like, holy fuck, what do I do? Or were you like just nonchalant? Yeah, no worries.
I was ready to be a dad when I had kids. More so, I would say, than their mother. I was more maternal from en partant than, and she definitely. I think in retrospect, I definitely pressured her into having kid when we had them. I think she would have waited a few years, and quite frankly, I don't think either of us knew that we would get pregnant so fast. Like, so, Anne stopped the birth control pill. Like the week we got married.
Okay.
And they say it take like a couple of
get
months
out of your system,
to get back on your regular cycle, get it out of your system. 3 months to the day she got pregnant the first time. And we were both like, whoa, fuck, that's a success story. Right,
yeah, that's
right
quick.
Out of the gate. So Jamie was born basically exactly 1 year after we got married. And then right away, I dated a girl at 19. I dated a girl who had a baby. So I had that experience.
Yeah, you had some experience behind.
I had a younger sister as well, which Anne did too. Anne's brother is 10 years younger than her, so she had that experience as well. I don't know. I guess some people just have it more than others. But not to say that Anne was never. She's a good mom and everything, but I was more maternal right out of the gate. Like, I remember like breastfeeding for her was weird. She felt it was weird.
So you did it?
She felt like she used to say that they would. Yeah, so I did. She would say though that it feels like they're sucking the life out of her. She felt her life force being sucked out, and I'm like, oh my god! And I remember at the time, this sounds hokey, but I would be jealous of that. I'd be like, oh my god, I would love to feel that, to give, like what we, in like the movies when you see like a family member give a kidney to another family member, you're like, oh my god, that's the. It's so stupid to wish for that opportunity. That would mean one of my kids has kidney disease or whatever, but like, oh my god, that to be able to show my love in such a literal, physical way, that sounds so great. I would just love to be able to do that. You know what I mean? Like, just blood transfusion straight out of my veins into
I know
their
what you
body.
mean. Yeah.
Like, yes, this is how much I love you as my last drop. Fucking look at that love, ultimate sacrifice. I'm over dramatizing it or whatever, but I remember her saying, feels like they're sucking the life out of me, and I was jealous that she was able to have that feeling.
Yeah, that's
but to her it was a total negative feeling, and to me I let's go. So no, when we had kids, I had a maternal instinct right away. To this day, you can't see me, like if I'm standing in line or just standing anywhere, I'm like this all the time, and people are like, what are you doing? It's from so many nights with my colicky babies, right? Jamie and Reese both had stomach issues when they were babies. So it would be like 2 hours just holding the baby and rocking them.
So now you
to sort of
you instinctively just rock back and forth. Like,
I rock back and forth whenever I'm standing. I'm
And now you
rocking
know
back
why
and
they
forth.
leave you
People
with
think I'm
the
fucking
little
Rain.
baby pup. They leave you with the dog, the
People think,
maternal
yeah,
one in the
people
family.
think I'm Rain Man. Standing in line at the grocery store, rocking back and forth, and somebody walks by and just dumps a box of fucking toothpicks on the floor. And like, how many? How many are in there? It's a Rain
Yeah, I've
Man
never
joke.
seen
No?
Rain Man.
Never saw Rain Man.
What is Rain Man? Who's in that?
Welcome to the Pop Culture Podcast with Derek Seguin and
I've
Abdul
never
Butt.
seen it.
Everything we've
What's-
seen it all. I've
Is
never
that
seen
with
Rain
who?
Man.
Who's in it?
Dustin Hoffman and Tom
No, I've
Cruise.
never seen it. Is this like a? Is this something I should see? Is this a classic? Is this a hit?
Yeah, it's an Oscar winner, I think. I think Dustin Hoffman definitely won the Oscar for it.
Rain Man.
He plays an autistic man before autism was even a thing that was on the
I've heard of this.
the day-to-day vernacular or whatever. He plays an autistic
Yeah.
man who ends up being the older estranged brother of Tom
Okay,
Cruise.
I think I've heard of this.
So he only meets him after their father dies, and so the father had been paying for.
I think this is
Dustin
this is I think the reason I know this is Mark DeBonis used this as an example of why Kanye West is so talented but also very insane. Like he's very
he's
that's what his theory is, that he thinks he's autistic, which I think he does have. It's actually, yeah. Did you ever see the Letterman interview on Netflix? He's bipolar, if I'm not mistaken.
Bipolar,
Yeah.
possibly, but I would say there's a good likelihood that he's on the spectrum because he does have a very mathematical.
That's what he was
musical,
suggesting. Is that
aptitude.
he's not fit, and I agree. After seeing a lot of things, like, I mean, I'm not a huge fan. I like his music or whatever. I'll listen. I'm not a huge fan. I don't really know any of his songs by name or anything, but I think he's definitely talented. He's just not able to be in the public eye because it puts a lot of pressure on him, and he gets very mentally. I don't think he can handle
Social
it.
inaptitudes is a very common.
It takes a lot of mental
symptom of people on the spectrum.
People don't get.
having
People
that
don't
social
understand, but I
inaptitude.
guess like celebrities that have kept it together are very mentally stable, because show business, man, it's like it'll fuck with your head a lot, at times. So
Yeah.
it is pretty impressive when you see like child actors that are still acting today and they're doing great, and you're like, fuck, what are you, like, someone should study you, because the fact that you were like watched as a
Yeah.
child and you grew up through this and it never really, I'm sure it's affected them at some point. I wonder what if they've ever
Yeah,
done
no,
studies or
definitely.
anything.
Even the ones that handled
Still-
it well are definitely affected. Had they have grown up like you or I, as nobody's,
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore is a good example. She seemed to have her shit together.
She's
and everything,
still a
but
little
she's
odd.
definitely
She's a little off.
a product of
Yeah.
Hollywood. Like, she's come up in a non-realistic reality. It's
Yeah.
like she grew up the child of a mega famous person and then was mega famous at 5.
Yeah.
See, it's not a normal thing. You're drinking at 8. That's not a normal.
Yeah.
But she seems to have her shit together and tries for the happy life.
For the
and
most
everything.
part, yeah. She's definitely
But yeah, the spectrum thing is just, it's so odd though that we went through, for the sake of argument, call it 6,000 years of human existence to get to the last 25 where this spectrum has been identified. And you're like, oh my God, in history, if you look back, people say that Einstein would have very much been on the spectrum.
Right.
Famous people that would have been on this spectrum of autism, which is such a all-encompassing word, autism. It just means your brain is wired a little bit differently than something else. So it's like cars nowadays, you have these autistic cars that are amazing because, they're wired differently, and each wheel reacts on its own thing when, 100 years ago, that's crazy talk.
autistic car. I've never heard it.
Well, whatever. I'm trying to turn it into a positive. That it can be a positive. Being wired differently can,
Dude,
Kanye West has brought us some
it
wonderful
definitely
things,
can be used for positive if you can manage it and direct it in a certain use it. You for sure, man.
Yeah.
Fucking your brain just thinks on a different level than the rest of us. So you could pinpoint and precisely nail down something way better than a lot of us.
where it's
My head
sad is
hurts
where
when I think.
society tries.
So
Yeah.
I started thinking, I'm like, oh, fuck.
What's sad is when society have tried to pigeonhole them into no, you have to be
No,
normal.
they
so
should
you have
really tap
feel
into
this way,
their
embrace
and
it.
see like what do you like doing and like give them so many options and see what they fucking just gravitate towards. And then they just
Yeah.
nail. I think did we talk about this? I saw it was a documentary about the chess. I think we talked about this. It was like a kid who was really good at chess, and I think he was that's what it was. He was autistic, and he could he just came out of nowhere and was like the champion at a super young age.
Is it recent?
What's that?
Is it
Yeah, it's on
recent?
Netflix.
Like the kid is still a
He's
kid.
maybe 18 now. I mean, he was like in the movie. I think he was
Okay.
like 15 or something like that. Like at the end of it.
Because there's Bobby Fischer that was a big chess star
Okay.
in the 60s.
No, yeah, he's
Who in retrospect may have had something like that. He may have been on the
yeah.
spectrum
I mean,
as well.
because once you find what they are like attracted to, anyone who's like has that mental. What would you call it?
That
Is it a
savant
mental
thing, yeah.
illness or is it just a different way of thinking? That's what I wonder. I mean, it's not a mental illness.
I think it's funny.
It's just a different way that your brain is wired and works. It doesn't. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
it. I don't think. I think it's just.
But I mean, in some people, you're very non-functioning. So I don't know
well,
if you would
that's
call it a
it. Yeah,
mental illness.
the ones that are
a-
non-functional. That's fuck that.
Mental illness, I think, is more psychological. This is physiological or psychological. Psychiatric rather than. But mental illness, I think we equate more with bipolar, depression, split personality disorder.
Yeah, but
Those
again,
kinds
like
of
you're
things.
saying, like is it just hey, that's just the way their brain works. It doesn't mean it's odd or anything just because it's off of the majority, but it's just a different type.
Yeah, I think the way that you're speaking, if people would
Yeah,
nurture and embrace
for
those
sure.
things, there may be a way. But listen, it's to be said that there are some people that are,
There's some that you can't. It's way too
you can
far.
always find
Yeah.
the positive, but you can make their life
Yeah.
as good as possible. I think nurturing it, which is a very modern thing, like if you were nonverbal, non-functioning, really antisocial, autistic person in the 50s, you're treated differently then than
Yeah,
you would be
for
now,
sure.
right? Like those are the types of people that Hitler was experimenting on and stuff because they didn't matter at all. Whereas today, that's just your lot in life. If you're
We
a
did
parent,
that too
if
in
you're a good
Canada.
parent
Did
that has
you know that, right? In Canada?
Yeah, I know. It's
Like,
just
it's easier to say
Hitler did it. It's easier to say Hitler
It's
did it.
easier to just pin
Hitler
everything
starting
negative
those
on
fucking
Hitler.
Residential schools, that asshole. Hitler and his residential schools. that
Fucking Hitler,
monster.
man. That guy was everywhere, just ruining everything. It's the Canadian government was doing that. Yeah, there's it's a lot of crazy stuff. But I guess back then they definitely didn't respect it. And imagine how I mean, I could only picture where you have no knowledge of what a person thinks differently is, and then you just see them, you're like, oh my God, they're from the devil. Like they used to just think they were like possessed. How crazy, man. Like just thinking like, oh, this person is possessed because they think differently than the way that you think. I could see it though. I could get it because if you're just like in a village, you have no science and no doctors, and you just see one person going crazy. I mean, those were the people that they would crazy, I guess, in a loose term.
There's a lot of people,
acting
though,
different.
like people that are now in. Sorry.
No, sorry, I
What
was
did
just
you
trying to be a little bit more politically correct. But please carry on.
Okay. There's more though. There's more and more people that are being speculated, at least in retrospect, because they're passed on now. But based on things been like Einstein,
Yeah.
like I was saying, like remember that movie Enigma, or about the Enigma, the guy that cracked the.
You're talking to the
German,
pop culture junkie,
code
buddy.
sending.
Of course, I've never seen it.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, that guy, they're saying there's a possibility that he was definitely wired a little bit differently. Turns out that he had I don't know how to say it, but I think because of the era in the 40s, he had a homosexual tendency. I think nowadays we would just simply say that he was a homosexual, but I mean in the 40s it was something that you hid, and then he got caught. So he was one of the top 5 most important successes that the Allied forces had was figuring out this code sending machine that the
Okay.
Germans had. So they were able to intercept really key vital information to help them win the war. And this guy was basically the most important piece of
Yeah,
that
I can see
puzzle
that.
of cracking the thing. It is said that perhaps he had some autistic spectrum sort of
Yeah.
falling somewhere on the spectrum, but he was also homosexual. And the man saved, like I said, the top 5 most important factors to the Allies winning the war. He was almost single-handedly responsible for it, and they fucking chemically sterilized him for being for nothing but being a
Wow.
homosexual. He wasn't a pedophile. He wasn't,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He was just, they caught him being gay, and they chemically sterilized him, and then he ended up killing himself.
Sounds
So,
like a fun movie.
Like you said, I think our society has a lot of faults still, but I think the way we deal with things like that, we are getting much better, to the point where people like you or I, when we get impatient or laughing at people doing naked yoga or bleaching their asshole from the sun, we dismiss it. We're dismissive of it. But I would never, like I said,
They're experimenting.
never try to face. Yeah, and so
They're modern day
people,
Einsteins.
the
They're out there getting the sun on their
gender-
asshole,
the
trying to
gender
find
thing
out
too,
something
you
new
know,
about
like-
science.
Sure, it's one way to sum it up. Sure.
Good people.
Society is being more indulgent to
Right, yeah.
differences.
We're more open-minded
To
today
the point
than we
where
were.
sometimes people like me that are just backward, like I'm live and let live. So if you want to be, like the gender issue is one that we can use because it's something that everybody relate to. It's become more commonplace. So whether you agree with it, you don't agree with it, some people are very mean to those people. I'm like, I don't mind. I find it odd. I can't not say I don't find it odd. I find it odd, but I will try to indulge your need for this thing. Now, where the argument becomes especially hairy with those people is it a mental illness, like you said, or is it a wiring thing? Like they're wired a little bit differently. I think it's a case-by-case thing, and all I can do is try to be kind to everybody. Like if you look at characters depicted in pop culture, there's another movie about a autistic person or somebody that fall on the spectrum was A Beautiful Mind with
Okay.
Russell Crowe. He also won the Oscar for that, I'm pretty certain. He plays a mathematician who
I've heard of this one.
he's based on a real person too, so it's a historical figure. But socially, he had a lot of trouble, right? Because he's wired differently. But mathematically, fuck, the guy
Right.
was off the chart. Like there's theorems today that still can't be duplicated by anyone, but he did it. He solved these things or created these equations, whatever. There's another character on the show that I really like called Billions. It's HBO.
Yeah,
I
Billions
think,
is,
or
yeah, I
Showtime.
think HBO.
Anyway, there's a gender non-binary person on that
Okay.
show. Their pronoun is they and them and whatever. So
And
the
whatever,
person's
is that one of
clearly
them?
born. Well, no.
They and them and whatever?
I think they would prefer whatever than
Okay.
she or whatever.
Or whatever.
Anyway, and it turns out that the actor is actually like that in
Okay.
real life as well. The actor's pronouns are they and them. The character in this show plays a mega super genius. So you would almost try, looking at all these things, I would lend the character, at least, if not the actor, because I don't know the actor, but the actor was born a woman, and so was the character. But in the show, the person is so prolific at the mathematical aspect of investments and the markets that you would almost, maybe they are on the spectrum. You know what I mean? At least the character in the show, without the show ever saying it, because the person does have a proficiency also socially. They're actually eerily good at reading
Right.
people. Like their intellect is so high that they can, read people's pantomime so there's so many different kinds of people. That's the beauty. Like the whole thing when we were in kindergarten, and that you children are like snowflakes. There's no one the same. I love that about humanity. I love that, and I think we should really learn to be more tolerant. Now, even somebody like, so I'm preaching that, but sometimes I will be like, I'll roll my eyes at somebody bleaching their asshole in the sun. So,
Well, I don't think you're rolling your eyes.
but
We're
I
fucking
do.
trying to find the funny in it. That's all. We're just laughing. We're having a good time. We're joking. That's all.
There you go.
Don't gotta explain
There you
that.
go. And like, so on that same subject, actually, remember I told you Abdul and I are trying to make this more engaging and more funny. So I have a funny anecdote, and it falls right into
All
what we're
right.
talking about now. But I feel like I'm stealing all the talk time.
Go ahead. We've got
But,
picks to do. Are we doing picks still?
I did a Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
we
Well,
could.
go ahead.
Yeah, I think we should. Well, where are we at? Is that an
Yeah,
hour?
we're at
We've
an
been doing
hour.
this already?
Okay, but go ahead.
Time
What's your
flies.
anecdote?
We're
We
doing
can
great.
keep going.
I did a lot of my reality now. I'm not doing a
Yeah.
lot of live shows, right? I'm doing Zoom shows, online shows. I've been so busy now through this corporate season is what we always called it, the corporate season, the
Yeah.
holiday season. I've done tons of these things. Well, didn't I get myself in shit? We're doing a Zoom show. Julien Dion and Jen Grant and I were on this Zoom corporate show for a law firm, a very
Yeah.
large, successful law firm. But it's Zoom, but we're doing it in a studio. Like it's a pro setup. It's like they paid big money to have this show. I mean, obviously they have 3 headliners. It's great. It's a great show. But it's Zoom. So they're all Zooming from their house, but they're giving us the screen. We kept encouraging them, turn on your microphone. We'd love to interact with you, to hear
Yeah.
the laughs, to chat back, whatever. But they're in their home. Again, this has happened to me many times. Kids will come in, like they've asked us to keep it clean, so they assume it's safe. And, I'm like always on the verge, like pushing the envelope, a little innuendo. Anyway, but so you make a joke, that the boat story with Angela,
Yeah.
where when she gets sick, and I'm like, this is a girl I love to watch swallow. The kid doesn't get why that's a
Right.
dirty joke, right? So it's like pushing it, and so people are uncomfortable but laughing, and it's good. And then this kid is sitting on the mom's lap, and the kid came right up to the camera and said something, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, what was that, sweetheart? And then I'm like, oh shoot, wait, is that? No, wait, not sweetheart, but dude, hey buddy, what? Wait, what? And then I'm like, oh my god, I don't know if this is a boy or a girl, and I'm just like frozen. It's 2020. Can you even ask that? So I'm panicking. I'm like, and it's just I don't know. It's 2020 though. You can
Yeah.
just make up your mind, buddy. You do you. Maybe 5 years you'll decide which one it is. But I'm just saying, I don't know. Well, you guys know the parents. What kind of shitty haircut is that? That is if there is. Like if that is a boy or a girl, you're really not helping things with that fucking haircut. The monkeys, you know what I mean? You get the monkey's haircut, Stephen. Anyway, I just kept
Digging the
fucking
hole.
digging my hole worse and worse. And I'm like, can you just please turn off your camera? I can't look at that kid anymore. I was just getting worse and worse as I was trying to fix it. It's just getting worse, and the kid is just like looking so, hey, this is great. You're talking to me. I'm like, I'm not talking to you. You're clearly what you are. There's a kid over in another box that you can't see. Sorry, kid. It's please, everybody, let me have the
Oh,
hook.
God.
And then where I was able to punch out. Thank God my brain work on a good level sometimes. At the end, I'm like, well, you know what? It looks like I'm going to be needing a lawyer. I guess I'm on the right show for that, right? There's like 70 of you around here. So
Unless you get sued by
that's
that
a
law
thing that
firm.
happened.
That's funny, man. That's hilarious. Yeah, the Zoom shows. Digging the hole. I love that. When you start getting into it.
I don't know. Oh, God, I haven't been paid for the show either. I don't know if that's possibly why I haven't been paid.
God. All right.
Do you have anything?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We've got.
I feel like
we chat. It's good. What do we? I didn't have any anecdotes or anything to bring to the table other than the articles we talked about. We're good.
I feel like I've hogged the airtime. So let me. I did want to pose you this question. It's a
Pose.
holiday version of the podcast, so we could be a little bit longer. I guess people have more time to kill over the next week, especially in Quebec, where we're not allowed to leave the house until January
Yes,
11th.
remind us.
My question for you was: Have you or your brothers ever asked your mom if she misses Christmas?
I don't think she's ever missed it because she's never really like. I remember like as a kid, I kind of like I was like, what is it like? Why? Like I just didn't get it, and my mom like just one year was like, oh, I'll get you a card or whatever so you could experience what it's like all these kids like a little present or whatever. And I was just not into it.
So she hasn't celebrated.
She kind
in
of like,
40
yeah, she
years
just
anyway.
did it like that, but it was nothing like I was like, I'm really not into it. She's like, okay, good. Like it's like she really didn't even want to do it, but she just kind of did it like out of sympathy, like to have me experience. Like she felt bad I didn't get to ever experience that. But because actually my brothers did celebrate Christmas before I was born. My parents did do Christmas with my brothers until I think they were like 4, 5, 6, something like that. And then as soon as I was born, they were like, "Fuck this, no more Christmas."
3 presents, bullshit.
They just stopped everything.
Yeah, your dad seemed like a pretty tolerant guy that wouldn't
Yeah,
mind.
they did it for a bit, and then they kind of like, they stopped, and then they didn't get into it. And I honestly enjoyed not being like everybody else. I really enjoyed it.
I see that. As a kid, especially, I could see that.
Yeah, it was
being
fun. I was always like, I didn't have to follow all those rules. Plus, I'd get my holiday, and I get to go out and like leave school. I'd get a note, and I get to stay home that day, or and then I'd still get Christmas off. So I'm not gonna bitch. I'm not complaining. So I did enjoy it though. I did like being like the outsider, like being different. I enjoyed it a lot. I think it just gives me a little bit something else, and like I don't care as much. I'm not like involved as much as the rest. I feel like I'm on the outside looking in, and I like that. I like being on the outside looking in.
When you were school age, did you do the fasting?
When I was young, I used to do it all the time. I used to do it up until I was like a teenager, and then I was like, oh fuck, I just want to eat. I didn't like especially waking up early in the morning and then stuffing your face at like 4 a.m. Like you just get out of bed and then you're like, we've got 45 minutes to eat, and you're just shoving food in and then after you're like, I don't feel so good, man.
Yeah.
I just ate a lot because you're like worried that you're going to be hungry by lunchtime. So you just eat as much as you can. And I'm like, this can't be healthy. But surprisingly, it actually like you get used to it after the first week. Your body just gets used to the rhythm, and then you don't really feel hungry until like it's time to eat at the end of the day. But nowadays, like,
well, like for me, that's my usual lifestyle, except for the fact that I wouldn't be able to drink coffee all day.
You're not supposed to smoke either. You're technically not supposed to smoke cigarettes or anything. Yeah,
that's right. Not supposed to consume anything,
you'd have a fucking hell of a time.
What I liked about it though, like what I liked about the fasting and all of Ramadan is at the end of the day, you get together as a family because everyone's hungry. We all have the same. Let's get together. And
everybody's super nice. Like it's a very like open thing where it's like, oh, come over, let's eat. Come over. Like my friends growing up loved when it was Ramadan because they'd come over. They would literally come over because my mom would make a bunch of food, and they would be like, "Oh man, I love it. It's so good." It's like you guys sit down and have a feast, and all my friends would come over and eat, and so we actually they enjoy it. Like it's fun. It is an experience, and that's what I enjoy. That's why I think I like that part of Christmas, the family part, because it's like it's the only time that you folk seem to get together and really like spend time with family. There's no real other time other than birthdays, maybe.
And the food become a part of the thing, right? Like even though it's not like we fasted, I think at some point in Christianity there was a fasting part. There is through Lent, Advent, right? So the last week of Advent, there's special day you only eat.
And then isn't it like Fridays too?
There was fasting. There was Fridays we're not supposed to eat meat, like every Friday, which is. You see the similarity in Judaism, right? The Friday is where a special thing happened. It just evolved differently. We all, all our cultures. Sometimes I think probably at some point they evolved out of spite for like we're not doing the same as these fucking Arabs or whatever. Like who knows what actually got us to where we are now? But I do love that in so many cultures, food. It's different kinds of food now, but food has become one of the ingredients of the specialness of it. Like why turkey? Who the fuck knows? But it is. It's a tradition, and it's turkey, and it's something. Yeah,
no, I do enjoy that part. I like the family. I like the getting together. I like it's a very in Islam. It's very like family oriented. People are super open. If you're not even Muslim for the most part, I mean, obviously there's assholes in every scenario, but majority, it's like, man, if you're around a Muslim person and it's time to eat. You are getting fed. Like it's not even a question. It's like they're very open to like, sitting together with people and congregating and being nice. Which is why when 9/11 happened when I was a kid, I was like, what? This is, and like all the bullshit portrayal of like what Muslims are, I just didn't understand it because I was like, well, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, We're totally not fucking crazy yelling and blowing shit up people. We're like the nicest fucking, we're always getting together. We're trying to help people. My mom's cooking food for everybody. You know, my dad would invite everyone over. We'd have meals. Like, I'm like, we're not fucking antisocial and hated everything else. Like, it was a weird, it was very weird as a kid to like see that. And then you just see it get gradual and more gradual, like hating toward, and you're like, these people are fucking nuts, man. What do they think?
I say it all the time that Islam still in general, again, not the extremists, but just practicing Muslim still embrace many of the virtue that we North Americans or Westerners always, proclaim to be so good at, this social, being neighborly. Say, we are losing it. My generation is the one that's losing all this stuff. Like when we were kids. Remember when we were kids, the block parents?
Dude, I thought about that the other day. The block parents, no more.
We're taught to go up to police and firemen. There's always, you could trust a priest, whatever. And now we're realizing, the priests and the cops and they're the worst. Yeah. The numbers are terrible. Whereas Islam seems to be still propagating those good messages of neighborliness, kindness. There's a story in the Quran where there was Muhammad had the Jewish neighbor who was just awful to him all the time, like would leave his garbage always right in front of Muhammad's door and just fuck you Arab fuck, and all the just garbage all the time. Swore at his wives and his daughters and just terrible to him. And then the man got sick, and then every day Muhammad would go to his house and be like, I brought you some food and water, I hope you're feeling better. And on the fourth day, the guy's like, dude, I treated you so garbage. I'm for sure gonna die. This is terrible, but why are you being nice to me? This makes no sense. And he's like, well, because you're my neighbor. Yeah. I can't not be nice to you because you're not nice to me. That's ridiculous. That'd be like, if you shit in your dishes, I'm gonna shit in my dishes. Why
is that in the Quran? The dishes?
It's no, I don't know about the shitting in the dishes part, but the story of him still being kind to a person who went out of his way to be unkind. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I feel like Western culture ruined a lot of the stuff. That's probably maybe why you feel like that, because like I feel like the whole like go attitude, get as much money as you can. All that shit starts to like bleed into it gets selfish.
It erodes.
And you're kind of geared to be that way, otherwise you don't make it to the top. Even growing up, you got that saying there, nice guys finish last. It's like, why would you even say that? That's not a good thing. Yeah. Nice guys don't always finish last. You got to fucking be nice. But it's almost taught to you in a negative connotation to be... you got to be more selfish and greedy and take what you can. You need more money. You need more cars. You need a bigger house. You need more stuff. Yeah. It's not, and like, man, fuck, dude, I think it still exists.
And so many people.
It's more other cultures, I think, too, that don't have that attitude. Other nations that are smaller or poorer, so they don't have that yet. So they still have that very mentality of family and help each other, and otherwise we don't get out together, we'll all be stuck. We got to help each other, otherwise it's not we're not living in a good world. But yeah, it's I find that's the thing, because I know my mom, I mean, she was born Catholic, and she she's from Portugal, and it's a different culture, so they're also...
And are her brothers still quite...
No, they don't practice. I mean, they don't go to church or anything, but they're also very, they grew up in that kind of like food and sharing and helping, because they're from a small island in Portugal, so it was very similar. But it's a thing here. I find it's like a North American thing. And I'm sure like Europe with like England or whatever, but if you're from a small towns in Canada still have that, you still got that small town feel. That's why people love it. It's like you're nice to people and you try to help them.
Yeah.
But when you get to those big cities, it's like fucking, you owe this much money for tax, you owe this much money for your car, you have to pay for this. So like people start to get greedy, and they're like, I need every dime I can get, and I need to fucking get it to the top quick, so you lose that.
It'll be very telling, I think, this lockdown, the fact that we're not able to be with our families as much. It'll be telling next year to see how people react to it. Like, oh my God, we complained about it. I have to get dressed and shave and go to the mom's and then go to the next stop, whatever. Will people be like, oh, this is nice to not have to do anything? Or will people be like, no, I really missed that Uncle Birdie and fucking the weird aunt that always pisses on the floor. And I miss
what's wrong
all
with
that.
your family?
I always thought they were negative. But deep down, this is what I live my whole year for this thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see. Happy holidays to everybody.
Whatever you celebrate.
I think it's a season where I just want everyone to
Eat
be
lots
joyous.
of food and be nice to everyone.
And maybe if you have a strong opinion, because that's one of the things we're talking about, 9/11 or all these things. So many people, hopefully, I always thought more in the United States, but even in Canada, I'm realizing there's people that are ignorant and they take in their opinions and they become part of their value system based on just media reports and careless, reckless. I would encourage you, if you don't know anything about Islam other than what you've heard on the news that they're all terrorists, I encourage you to read a little bit about it. Maybe not the Quran, but read a theological study of Islam versus Christianity or Islamic tradition. There's a lot to be learned, and everyone's different. Everyone has their faults.
Or start small. Start small. Maybe
great.
just try eating at an ethnic restaurant. Try a little spice.
Yeah, food is a sacred part of. All right, so happy holidays to everybody. Abdul, my Muslim friend.
Merry Christmas to you, buddy.
I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. And we'll be talking. So the picks. Let's get to the picks. We got. We're gonna skip through it quick, but I'm feeling good. Last week was so shit that I can't lose this week.
That's how it works, right?
I did terrible last week. We'll put up the little scores there, but last week was not good. My anchors. My record was still probably okay, but I had my sure bets like the Steelers over the Bengals. Are you kidding? I thought for sure. The Rams over the Jets. The 0-13 Jets couldn't beat the fucking last year's AFC champ. Anyway, whatever. So there was some fucked up games for sure. But anyway, here we go. So Vikings Saints, I'm taking the Saints. Buccaneers Lions, I am taking the Bucks. 49ers Cardinals, I think the 49ers are going to be surprising, but I'm going to take the Cardinals there at home. Dolphins Raiders, the Raiders are pissing me off so much, I'm taking the Dolphins out of spite, but they'll probably now win. The Raiders will probably win because of that. But the Dolphins are looking really good this year. Giants Ravens, I'm sorry Giants, I don't see you having a chance. Near the end of the season, the Ravens are getting their playoff team and mojo going, so the Ravens are going to blow out the Giants. Chiefs Falcons, again, Chiefs are just going to be playing with Super Bowl plays and toying with the Falcons. The Falcons have no finishing touch. Anyway, they can put up some points, but their defense is not. Anyway, the Chiefs over the Falcons. I'm taking the Browns over the Jets, even though the Jets last week surprised everybody. Bears Jaguars, I'm taking the Bears. Bengals Texans. Bengals coming in with some confidence. Texans have zero confidence. But I'm going to say the Texans are going to win that. They're going to wake up. JJ Watt's going to have a big game there, I think, and shut down this new little quarterback. So I'm taking the Texans. Colts, Steelers. Steelers need to win it. The Colts are a good team, but the Steelers are going to, they might even cheat. They might cheat. They need to win so bad. Panthers at Washington. I'm going to take Washington in that one. I don't know why. I have nothing to say about why I'm taking it. Broncos, Chargers. Broncos are slipping a little bit. Chargers, two young quarterbacks. I'm curious about that. I'm going to say the Chargers at home for that one, but I'm not sure. I may not bet that one. I'm a little bit afraid. Eagles, Cowboys. Please punch me in the face if I bet on this game, because both of these teams are all over the place. Whatever. I'm going to take the Cowboys because the Eagles just piss me off so much being idiots. But their young quarterback does look really good, and Andrew Dalton is a fucking flake. Rams, Seahawks. I think the Rams need this one. So do the Seahawks. They could be out of the playoffs, but I think the Rams are going to come back strong after last week's terrible showing, and the Rams are going to beat the Seahawks in Seattle. Titans, Packers. Game of the week for me. Going to be an incredible game. The Titans are so good on the run. The Packers defense is not great on the run. They have a great pass rush, but not a great run defense. But I'm going to give it to Aaron Rodgers. He's getting ready for the playoffs, and he's going to be laser focused. And I think Aaron Rodgers, no matter how many points the Titans score, I predict that Aaron Rodgers will score a few more. Then Bills, Patriots. It's wonderful. The Patriots are out of the playoffs for the first time in 11 years. It's the first time they're not going to make the playoffs. The Bills are building a strong run toward the playoffs. So I am taking the Bills over the Patriots. Put it in the bank. There's a couple games there I mentioned to stay away from. I will try, but I can't help myself. I'm like Homer Simpson. I'm just like, bet, gotta bet. No, that's Fred Flintstone. So that's it. Those are the picks. We kept it brief this week. Do with it what you will. I'm going to enjoy a lot of football starting on Christmas Day. It's going to be fun.
Enjoy, buddy. I'm going to be watching junior hockey.
Healthy.
That's what I like every year in this time. Watching the juniors.
Yeah,
that's going to be fun.
I might put some money on that. Thanks for reminding me.
You would have found out anyways.
But that's money. That's hard money, right? I wouldn't bet on anybody but Canada for that kind of thing, for junior stuff. But I want to wish everybody the happiest of seasons. 2020 has been fucked up, but
we made it to Christmas, man.
We're doing okay. It's going to be tough not seeing as much of our family. I would say if you're going to be, just don't scoff at the rules. Just continue to be careful. We don't want to endanger having people get sick. Our healthcare system is going to have less people working.
Gotta be.
We don't want to overrun it.
Could I just say this? I left Los Angeles because people weren't giving a shit. And I get that it's getting annoying and people are tired and they want to just fucking live their life again. But believe me, you want to look at what it looks like, at what people who don't give a shit, what it turns out to be. Just Google what's happening in LA and California right now, and you'll know. That's from the start. They didn't give a shit, and now look at what they're going through. So just hold on, man. We'll get through. Just hold on.
A message from Bacon No Bacon is just please
give a shit.
Give a shit. Be cautious. Be aware of what you're doing. Be aware of what you're doing. The rules aren't fun. Do with them what you're going to do. You're going to do it anyway, but just be aware that you could make society and your family worse by being careless. So be careful. Just be very careful. Be safe. Be healthy. We're almost there. The vaccines are coming. We're going to get through this, and Abdul and I will be out there on the road doing live shows in about 9 months.
Oh, man, I hope so. All right, buddy.
That'd be great.
Merry Christmas.
Peace, everybody. Much love. Love to you all. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I don't know if we'll do one before New Year's, probably, because we got nothing to do. We can't see anybody, so.
All right, man. Take care, buddy. See ya.
Right on.